Hi guys. Sorry. Sorry for being live only now, instead of as planned on 5:30 p.m. Yesterday I was also late. I had another problem, something that has never happened to me in over a year with the electric car. I had to wait 3 hours at the charging station because the drivers of the two connected electric cars simply didn't come back. The third free spot was unfortunately too far away, as my charging port is at the back right of the car and the cable didn't reach that far. Later, this spot was also blocked by a non-electric car. So I called the service and explained the problem. The employee on the phone said he would disconnect the two cars from the charging station because they weren't charging anymore, and I should simply unplug the cable from one of the cars. I was a bit confused, as with my car, you have to press a button inside the car to release the cable. But indeed, I could easily unplug the neighboring car's cable, so it was still not long enough to reach my car. At that moment, another electric car driver passed by. I explained the situation to him and he looked for a parking spot to help me. He showed me that there's a wire attached to the charging cable, to the holder, the charging cable holder that goes into the charging station and can be pulled out. I had never seen this before. Thanks to this, the cable barely reached my parking spot, and which wasn't even an official charging spot. I was so relieved to finally be able to charge. My vacation has finally started. I've been on vacation since Saturday, and it will last from September 15th to October 15th. I had planned to go to Italy or France, but due to the flood warnings, I now have to improvise. I hope to find places that aren't affected. I've never been in a disaster area, and I hope it stays that way. Now, for the worst experience of the past week. Not only week, month, year. My external hard drive is no longer recognized. I looked online for a data recovery company and went there last Thursday. But where the computer store was supposed to be, there was just a huge construction site. I called and they told me to go to the branch near the main train station. The next day, I went there by metro. When Google Maps said, "You have reached your destination," there was only a Turkish barber, a gold buying shop, and a Turkish supermarket. I was confused. Went into the supermarket and asked where the computer store was. The seller pointed to the back, and I walked in that direction. Suddenly, there was a Turkish cafe. The floor covering stopped, and I was standing on concrete. And there at the end of the room was indeed the counter of the computer store. Behind the counter stood a computer technician and many computers. I explained my problem and he showed me the price list. Starting at 1,000 euros for data recovery. That was a shock. I didn't have that much money. I asked if they could at least try connecting the hard drive to another Mac. A colleague came and offered to take me to the back. He connected his Windows PC with an adapter and plugged in both the external hard drive and my MacBook. He showed me that the hard drive was still recognized, but was empty. A shock. I must have accidentally erased it with a keyboard shortcut, which I still can't believe. Why is this possible? Not only was a year of footage from Tenerife, Germany, France, and Italy gone, but also several years of audio material that I had commissioned from my teachers on italki. These voice recordings had cost me between 20 and 30 euros per hour. In total, certainly over 1,000 euros I had invested. Now I hope I can find some of it in my emails. Otherwise, I'll have to redo everything. That would be an absolute disaster. Now to the best thing that happened to me this month, or maybe year. Lucas. I've seen him far too little, and I was sad about it for almost 2 years. But now we've finally found a solution. But here's the backstory. In the fall of 2022, I lived with him for a month, so he could afford the 1,000 euro rent. But when the BAföG office required me to pay the full rent, because I was his mom and I lived with him, I had to move out because I couldn't afford that. Since then, Lucas has hardly wanted to see me. I've only seen him a maximum of once a month when I was in Germany. It was hard for me, and I often talked to my SPDI counselor. It's similar to therapy, but only once a month online, and with Sasha about it. On last Sunday, Sasha had the brilliant idea that Lucas might like bouldering. So I asked him, and he said yes. Last Saturday, we went bouldering together for the first time, and he liked it. We've decided to go bouldering together once a week after my vacation. I'm so happy. I'm the happiest mom in the world. Now, let's wrap up. You probably saw my new planner in last week's live sessions on Polyglot Mona. It's coming out on Amazon on September 30th. As for my schedule, I'm still doing 24 live sessions a month in 6 languages. If you want more details, you can find everything on my blog, polyglotmona.wordpress.com, link in the description. By the way, I'm parked in a beautiful, quiet, nature-filled spot. And yesterday too, but there was a van who parked too close to me, and I had to go to the other end of the parking lot. That always happens to me because people think, oh, that's a car. She doesn't stay here. But yes, that's a car, and I live in my car. Take care and see you next time. Check out my other channels. All the links are in the description. Bye bye.